Welcome, Flyers fans. You're listening to Chris Mayer, Flyers Fan Mania 93 on YouTube.
All right, so the Flyers break the streak, and it kind of felt like at least one of these games was going to go well for them. I had commented on, if anybody follows PhiladelphiaFlyers.hockey on Instagram, Aaron, who does his own advanced stats, great account, everything. I had said, if the Flyers keep playing like this, I said this after Monday's game, if Flyers keep playing like this, they're going to win at least one of these games. I actually said that they'd win two, the St. Louis game and this game against Washington, but they ended up, it was a hard-fought game by them, but they just weren't able to win it, and obviously the score was a lot more lopsided, like I talked about last video. But they ended up getting the win today. And the last game against Washington last Thursday, overall, they played better in that game. It was a good game for them. And again, since the Kings game, they've played better as a group. And again, I'm going to keep repeating this because I think it's huge for them going into next year, because you have to find something to build on. And I think breaking that streak for them and having a handful of games where they've played well, not saying it means much going into next year, but for the players here, and the players are still going to be here. I mean, you see the way they reacted at the end of the game after Brown blocked that shot from Ovechkin. Like, that doesn't look like a team that's like, you know what I mean? Like, they are a tight-knit group, it seems, even though they're not able to pick up the wins, and they're so injured and everything. Obviously, everybody knows what's going on. But you get my point. So overall, they played well today. I mean, first of all, you get the goal 11 seconds in. That was huge. It was just the Flyers, I felt like they were going to score first because the last couple games, they haven't really, it seems like they've been at least able to play with the team, but they weren't able to get the first goal. So they get the first goal in this one, 11 seconds in. Great shot from Giroux, and the Flyers continue to do that. They had a good forecheck throughout the first period. They played well, and it felt like majority of that was kind of rolling for them. They get the goal late, cut off a couple penalties, so they go into the first intermission up 2-0. That was the first time they had a 2-goal lead going in intermission since December 18th against the Ottawa Senators. And if you remember, that was the last game that they won before the whole other losing streak. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. So going into it, lines and everything are a little bit different. Farabee comes back in. Farabee, Giroux, Atkinson, Lindblom, Lawton, Konechny, JVR, Brassard, Mayhew. So Brassard slips in. Frost comes out. I'm going to talk about Frost at the end of this video because it makes zero sense to me. Ratcliffe, Brown, and McEwen. Provorov and Braun, Sanheimer's the line, and Yandel, Steeler, Hart in net. So the Flyers go up 2-0 at the end of the first. Second period, it kind of felt like the way that the second was going, the Caps played better. They had more shots. They get a goal from Oshie on the power play. And it felt like the Caps' forecheck was better. The Flyers were kind of hemmed in their zone at many times. It was kind of like the Blues game. They bent, but they didn't break. They gave up the one goal, but that was really it. And kind of besides that, it was a pretty good period. Carter Hart was fantastic in this game. I mean, he had a handful of good saves. Really good save on Snively. Third period, Flyers just, that was kind of like the muck and grime kind of period. I kind of felt, the first 7-8 minutes, there was only one shot, and that was for Washington. It wasn't a good opportunity either. So the Flyers played well in this game, and, it felt like after a handful of these games, they deserved at least a win. So that was good, at least, to pick up a win. Look, I'll always enjoy a Flyers win, no matter the circumstance, no matter who they're playing, no matter who's in the lineup, whatever. But it's very frustrating when it seems like, when the team wins, like they win the championship, you know what I mean? It's frustrating because the team really shouldn't be this bad. But again, I'm glad that they won. It's good to see them win games. I hate the attitude of the Flyers should just continue to lose. That doesn't matter to any of the players. If you want to say to lose for a draft pick, that means nothing to any player that's on this team right now. Mike Yeo is still going to coach for his job to either stay with the Flyers or to get another head coaching spot in the league. So they're going to try to do as much as possible, and they're also going to showcase different players for their trade deadline. You could argue the whole Brassard thing, like if they're supposed to be showcasing him or what. I'm not too sure. I've kind of gone back and forth. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not. Because my thing is I was talking about this with Jamie Bascow, and we were just having a conversation about it, and he was saying Brassard's been in the league 15 years or so, and he has a good point. He's been in the league for a long time. So they already know what they're getting out of Brassard. But then again, my thing was like, they could also be looking for Brassard because of the whole injury thing. I mean, he's been out for a while. You don't know. So that might be what it is too. And maybe the Flyers just might want to play him to see how he progresses and see if they're able to move him. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind. And the Morgan Frost thing, the fact that Brassard was even in the lineup, it makes absolutely no sense to me. I've talked about this so many times. You got Morgan Frost, probably your most dynamic offensive prospect in the entire organization. And you have him, he's been in total yo-yo for the entire year. And the development process with him has been very weird. The way that they handle him makes absolutely zero sense to me whatsoever. The fact that you have this kid, right, who just had an entire year off of an injury, and it was a weird injury the way he got hurt, but it was, tough, and he had to get surgery, everything. So keep that in mind and all that stuff too. So he's coming off of an injury, and honestly, I feel like he's at a good spot for coming off the injury and the way he's been handled. You basically you want to make him an NHL player, and you put him at the NHL level at third center in the NHL with two AHL wingers in Mayhew and Willman for majority, played with different guys throughout the entire time he was up here. He was sent down, called back up, and then he comes out today for Brassard. And, it just makes absolutely no sense to me. Again, I will continue to say this. Chuck Fletcher himself said the land of opportunity. You can go back and find it in the press conference. The land of opportunity. It's the land of opportunity here with all these guys. Why is your best prospect down in the AHL? It makes zero sense to me. Again, I understand. Your coach is coaching to win, a job, whatever. I get that. But your best prospect is playing in the AHL and hasn't gotten a fair shot to even put up any numbers in the NHL because he's playing with Gary Mayhew, Max Willman, and it's nothing against those guys. Nothing at all. They're good players. But you can't expect a young kid coming off of an injury at 22 years old to actually produce at an NHL level, not getting enough time, not even really getting that much of a look at a power play time consistently. It makes no sense. And they didn't even try him out on the PK. So that's another thing. Like, it's so weird. And there's guys like Allison that gets every other chance he can get to make the team and to come back. And it's nothing against Wade. They handle guys differently. York, he's been, and then he's also battled a little bit of injury down in Lehigh Valley as well. And that too, he hasn't been called up since, and he was one of the team's best defensemen. Zamula hasn't even seen a game. Ratcliffe has played well, and he's been continuing. He got put up to the first line. Like, it makes zero sense to me. It's like the Flyers are trying to mold Frost into something that he really isn't able to do because he's so offensively flashy. And if you ever get the chance, go watch the Spit and Chicklets interview with TJ Oshie. Oshie talks about something that basically the way that when he came to Washington, his game was different because they basically let him go out and he was able to make plays and be creative. He couldn't necessarily do that in St. Louis. He breaks it down a lot better than I just did, obviously. But go back and listen to it because I think that's what a lot of this stuff has kind of been since the firing of Alain Vigneault, since, the whole Morgan Frost thing. I don't know. But it's very frustrating to see that because, again, your most dynamic prospect is not even really been given a chance to do anything at the NHL level. And I'm not going to sit here and, he played this amount of games. That doesn't matter to me. He's playing with AHL players in the NHL level. He's not, he has no shot of doing anything. It just makes no sense. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Check out SeatGeek and Garrett Group Construction. SeatGeek, use code FlyersFanMania for $20 off your first order. Garrett Group Construction for any home improvement needs. Thank you guys for watching. As I said, merch link is in the bio. I'll talk to you all again soon.